All right, welcome. So this video is how to stay disciplined when it gets hard. I'm going to be talking to you guys about why you can't make progress without discipline, and then I'm going to teach you how to actually develop discipline. So for me, discipline completely changed the way that I work and totally skyrocketed my progress in a way that I couldn't even comprehend at the time, right? But just by becoming more disciplined, I was able to make mountains of progress compared to where I was before, because by staying disciplined, by doing it every single day, no matter how I felt, I continuously was applying the effort, continuously applying the repetitions that it took to progress to a level that what took discipline before is now my baseline, right? What took discipline before is now my baseline, and now I've been able to progress a lot since that point. But also, discipline changed the way that I work, right? Because I was able to be more disciplined, I was able to, do things like recording multiple videos in a day. And that was something I couldn't do before. But now it's very easy for me. It's normal for me. And because I can trust myself to be able to do that and be capable of doing that, well, now it completely changes the way that I work. Now I don't have to, work every day, and I don't have to work endlessly every day, and I don't have to work constantly. I can focus my attention on other things because I know that I have the discipline to follow through on the things that I need to do. It also made it so that work was the main focus of my life. And with or without discipline, I was focusing on work, and I was focusing on applying effort to the areas that would make me more progress. And because I was disciplined, any time that I felt I may not want to do it, I just committed and I did it. And because of that, I've been able to continuously make more progress and not actually stop at any point. And that's where we're at today. I'm continuously making progress, continuously seeing growth, because I don't see myself stopping work at any point, right? And even if I do stop working, because of the discipline that I apply, I can focus really, really hard, really intensely, and create enough content from, one day of work to be able to cover a couple of weeks of content, of videos. So this is why you can't make progress without discipline. Momentum is the main reason why you can't make progress without discipline, right? When it comes to momentum, you need to be continuously applying that effort in order to keep building that momentum. Every time you build some momentum and then because you didn't feel like it today, you stop doing the work, well, that cancels out all of that previous momentum built. It puts you at a standstill again, and so you have to start from scratch every single time, making it more and more difficult. Funny enough, by being disciplined in the moment and just following through now, you actually make yourself have to apply less discipline over time, because if you don't apply discipline and you give up and you cancel out that momentum, it's going to take more effort the next time to get it started back up. The next thing is, it will get hard. It will get difficult. It will not be an easy journey 100% of the time, right? You have to be willing to push through, maybe wanting to do something other than work, maybe wanting to do something other than focusing on the goal. But in reality, it will get difficult, and so you need to be ready and prepared to apply discipline and to push through, even though it doesn't feel like the optimal thing to do, or it doesn't feel like the thing you want to do. And the next thing is inconsistency. If you are inconsistent, you won't be able to progress enough, and you won't be able to stack that progress enough to compound growth and therefore see real results in your journey. And so when you're inconsistent, you won't be able to see that progress you're looking for, which is why we need to apply discipline, because this inconsistency happens because one day we feel like it, the next day we don't. One day we do, next day we don't. And so we need to work on the days we feel like it, and then work on the days we don't feel like it. And then on the days we feel like it again, work. And then the days we don't feel like it, work. And that's how it needs to look. And that's what consistency is. That's how consistency operates. If you work on the days you feel like it, but not on the days you don't, you will never be consistent. I promise you. I promise, no matter how hard you try, well, if you try pretty hard, then therefore you're applying discipline. But no matter how hard you try to not apply discipline, not do any work when you don't feel like working, I guarantee you will not be successful. I want one successful person, anybody who is actually successful, genuinely successful, not bullshit, but genuinely successful, go down to the comments and tell me, yeah, I got here because I felt like doing the work and I didn't do any work that I didn't feel like doing. All right, the next section is how you can develop discipline. Practice cleanliness in all areas of life. This is actually a key. This is one I should talk about more. But practicing cleanliness in all areas of life will help you with being more disciplined. Because when you take care of your things in your room, when you take care of things at your desk, right, this creates an energy of precision. This creates an energy of organization, of clarity. And so therefore, it becomes much easier to stay disciplined. And also, when you're disciplined in this way, it applies to other areas of life. And the last thing is that there's no resistance to doing, the work associated, because everything else is already organized. If you are used to doing things in a specific way, so let me give this example, because I think this will help to explain it better than me just talking, right? But I'll give you a story, or I'll give you an example of my daily routine, right? So my morning routine, I wake up and I immediately make my bed. And then I do all of these things to get myself clean and ready for the day. And then I clear my mind with meditation. I journal, and then I take a cold shower, right? And then I come here, and when I get here, I have all of my things in their specific places, right? Everything has their specific place. Everything is in its own place. Everything else is clear. Everything is organized. Everything is clear. Everything is where it needs to be. And so routinely, I show up and I pull out my tripod, I pull out my mic, I plug my mic in and my headset, I get my lighting ready, and I get my script out. And once I'm done with that, it's time to start recording. I set up my phone, I get my thumbnail, and then I go. Because of that process, right? Because of that process, I'm also much more disciplined in my work because of this organizational mindset, right? Because of this precision-based mindset. Because I'm precise in exactly how I organize things, and when I'm done working, I will always clean everything up and put it exactly back away the way it was originally, right? And this just creates a mindset of precision, and so therefore that precision and that cleanliness and that care that you apply, that attentiveness that you apply to everything else, will then translate into discipline within your work as well. Become hyper-focused on your goals. The next thing about discipline is if you aren't focused enough on your goals, it's going to be really hard to be disciplined. If you are hyper-focused on the goals you want to achieve, and not hyper-focused on the goals themselves, the image in your head about what it's going to look like in the future, but rather you're hyper-focused on the actual process to achieving them, then it's very, very hard to be undisciplined because you care so much about the outcome that you will do anything required to make sure that it happens, right? And so because of that, you will ensure that you are disciplined even when you really, really, really don't feel like it. Because to you, it needs to be more important that you are successful. It needs to feel that it is much more important for you to be successful than it is for you to even stay alive, right? It should be more important that you achieve success than it should be that you continue life, period, right? Because if you are doing this in the right way, your success is actually the achievement of your purpose. And so if that's the way you're trying to go, then life is only worth it if you are progressing towards that goal. Have this mindset of death is better than falling off my path, right? If you have this mindset, then it's very, very easy to stay consistent. It's very easy to stay disciplined because you literally believe that death is the only other option than being successful and focusing. And so when you feel like, I don't really feel like doing it today, I'd like to do this thing instead, you have this belief that I can't fall off because my life depends on me achieving this goal. And not so much like I'm actually going to die if I don't do it, but my identity is associated with my progression towards this goal, and so that is something I hold dearly. And so by allowing that to be and allowing myself to focus on that, it makes it easier to discredit or disregard any desires to fall off that track. Next thing is to create a routine. When you're in a routine, it's really, really easy to stay disciplined, right? When you're consistently in a routine, when you do the same things at the same times every single day, it's really easy to stay disciplined. I'll give this example with my work. I show up here at the same time every single morning. Except yesterday I woke up early, but I come out here at about 7:15 every day. And what that means is every day at 7 o'clock, I'm here and I'm recording. And so when I wake up in the morning and I hear my alarm clock, there's no question in my mind about what I have to do. I have to wake up and do my morning routine, and then I have to come here. And then when 7 o'clock hits, and my morning routine's done, I'm not questioning myself about what to be doing. I'm not like, maybe I want to do this thing, maybe I want to do that thing. I don't feel like doing it today. It's just, I have it, I'm doing it, that's it. It's 7 o'clock, time to record. Boom. That's where you want your mindset to be. And so by creating a routine and following through on that routine and making that routine habitual, then you actually develop the discipline because you program yourself and condition yourself to more likely than not do the thing at the time. And so when you feel that little bit of resistance, it's way easier to just redirect yourself back to the routine than it is if you randomly decided to sit down for the same block of work. If you randomly sit down for the same block of work, it's much more difficult because your brain has to process and prepare for it. Versus if you know that it's coming, it's just you snap right into it and you're able to get going. And then learn to redirect the attention of your mind. If you can't control the attention of your brain, you won't be able to overcome these bouts of resistance because you will face the resistance. What determines success is whether you are able to redirect your mind to focus on the work or if you get consumed by these distractions. So learn to focus your attention on the work, and then when distractions or when resistance comes up, like right now, I really don't want to be recording. I feel like shit. I don't know why exactly. Honestly, I just don't feel good today. I've been recording for a while. I can feel I'm kind of like rushed because I just want to get it done, and I'm trying to calm myself down. And more importantly, I'm just keeping my attention on my script and each part of my script that I'm working through and just talking and clearly and concisely making the points that I need to make. I'm not focused on anything else. If I focused on how I felt right now, I probably wouldn't continue to record. Yesterday, however, I felt amazing and I was able to record for hours on end and I didn't feel like shit at any point. Versus today, I'm recording half the amount and I feel way worse and it's way harder and way more difficult. But what do I do with that? Do I feel into it and I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't do it? Or do I let this resistance sit there? I'm going to deal with it when I'm done because there's something in me that's resisting this work right now. I don't have the time to put off working, so I'm going to leave it for later and then I'll deal with it after. After I'm done with work, I'm going to address why I feel this way. I'm going to address what this resistance is, and then I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to move on. But right now, because I need to get this work done, because I need to stay focused, because I need to stay disciplined, and because I need to complete the work that I'm focused on right now before I'm able to move on to anything else, this is the most important thing I have going on right now and going on at all today. So therefore, I'm just going to fixate my attention onto the work and keep it there. Because if I can get distracted by, feeling off, then I won't be able to actually progress. I wouldn't be able to complete anything today, right? I had 6 videos to record today, and I'm about to start after this one, the last video. And, when I got here, I genuinely, from the moment I got here, did not think I could get this far. And just because I focused on working, on just a way to put this is my mind, my attention, my energy is just focused on this. It's just focused on my script and working through it and making the points that I need to make, creating this video. If my focus went anywhere else, if my focus got distracted by how I felt, I wouldn't be able to continue recording. So the next section is mindset, right? You need to develop a strong mindset and you need to develop a growth mindset. You need to develop a strong mindset and you need to be able to handle discomfort. You need to be able to handle pain. You need to be able to handle hardship. And you need to be able to push through it with vigor, with intention, with passion. poise, right? I think poise is the word I'm looking for there. But you need to be able to push through the discomforts. You need to be able to push through challenges. And you need to have a growth mindset, because you need to have this belief that through challenge, you will grow and become better. This belief that you can and will always be able to improve aspects of your life. This mindset is also key when it comes to discipline, because if you have a belief that you're just the way you are and that's it, when you face discomfort and resistance to a new business or whatever that is, you might end up giving up because you don't believe that you can adapt to that work style. You may think it's so much, it's too much, I cannot develop the discipline to be able to adapt to this. But in reality, you can, if you just apply the effort. When I started recording videos, I literally couldn't even speak to the camera. I literally could not even speak to a camera for a few minutes at all. I'd get awkward, I'd stutter, I'd do all of these things. But now I can record multiple videos in a day. And when I started recording multiple videos in a day, I did not even believe that I could record a second or third video, because by the end of one video, I was so fried that I just wanted to give up. But then I did it, and then I did it again, and then I did it again. And then because I did it so many times, I'm now used to it. I'm comfortable with it. I can do it. This doesn't take as much discipline for me as it did a few months ago. The next thing is, you will struggle. That's a part of the journey, and you have to maintain this mindset. You will struggle, and it is a part of the journey. If you believe that you will be able to become successful without pain, without hardship, without struggle, you are lying to yourself, you are deluding yourself, and that is the very reason why you aren't successful in the first place. Because when you're constantly running away from the pain and away from the discomfort, well, you're never actually going to keep running in the direction of your goals. You're just going to kind of keep running circles around the area you've managed to make it to, right? Versus if you want to progress towards your goal, you need to be willing to penetrate through any and all barriers that present themselves to you on the path. And then learn to grow from hardship and challenge. Learn to take hardship and challenge as an opportunity to grow and become better. Every time you are faced with something difficult, look at it as your opportunity to become better at what you do, or just become better in general, become a stronger, more capable human being. And that is key. If you have this mindset, anytime you face the resistance to work, you can overcome it by saying, no, I'm going to develop the strength, I'm going to develop the discipline and the character required to beat this and overcome this. And then all you have to do from there is follow through on the work. Focus your attention on the work and just do it. Just put in the effort. So that is all I have for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did learn something valuable, leave a like and leave a comment down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have learned and gained from these videos. For those of you guys serious on your self-improvement who want to take it to the next level, the Academy of Intelligence is a great option for you. So go ahead and request early access by going to my description, clicking that link to go to my Instagram, and then you can just send me a DM from Instagram. But yeah, that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope it was valuable. But that's all from me, and I'm out of here. Peace.